the property tax would be fair to everybody. You know,
20th century technology. Can you expand on that? Now, here again, I'm speaking for people who have spoken with me.
Okay.
They don't get that 20th century technology. They want more specifics. In other words, they say, well, that's be a calculator. They want to know. They want to know what percentage of the money would be used for 20th century technology. And when you say that, are you saying to hire a 20th century technology instructor? Are you saying to implement computer programs?
Software.
What are you going to do with that?
Really, no, we're on our way out. The textbooks is on the way out. I think eventually we in every other state going to be using e-readers. You're going to have a paper textbooks in the future. And so when you start talking about technology, it enhances buying those e-readers, buying other computer information and the programs and the software for the students to keep it updated. You know, you got to periodically update it. They're going to become obsolete. You know, the next year or 2 years, that all that equipment and technology may be obsolete. And so we will be spending the money on those type things, trying to keep everything updated, to bring in new technology. And I think the board strongly feel that the technology is needed. That's why we will try to use some of these funds. Now, to be specific on exactly how the amount,
or the percentage.
I will get back to you, the percentage. I would say,
in other words, people want to know, is 40% of the money going to be used for that? Is 30% of the money? 20%? What percent? Because they say, well, you know, you could spend $100,000 on 20th century technology and then all the other money.
Yeah. But what happens is that when you talk to the technology coordinator, we have one, that they try to pinpoint exactly the amount, because things are changing every year. If you're going to change out a system or a program, you don't know exactly what it's going to cost until you get ready to change it out, because prices steady changing. Then it's just hard to pinpoint. To me, just sitting here talking to you that, well, we're going to spend 25% or 30%. Then if I said we're going to spend that, and when we don't, then they're going to put me in a situation where, you know, the board member didn't tell the truth. We said they're going to spend 30. So I would like to do a little bit more research to find out exactly how much we're going to spend in those areas before I just actually give you the amount that's going to be spent on that. Just to be fair.
The amount of money that's projected for a sports complex, to many feel that number is high. Well, they compare with some other schools in the area who have had sports arenas and complexes built that much less. So that number, is that a conservative figure? What is that based on?
I got this from this morning. I just called him. I talked to him on my right now. I just got it from, I just wrote it down on paper. For Hookham High School up there in Birmingham, 5,045,000 feet, stadium, baseball, softball, and field house. You know, that's what they end up paying. So roughly, you know, when we first started talking about this, we were talking about $4.5 or $5 million to build it. Now, at that time, when we built the high school, to build was $100 a square foot because the economy had collapsed, you know, and people wasn't working. The construction company was looking for jobs to make sure they could put their men to work. And so when they bid out the school, the bid came in at $100 a square foot. Now to build, it's $150. So now we're talking about 50 cents more than it would have cost us when we built back in 2010 or somewhere in that area. And so even all the build the school that we have, even the school that we have now, in order to build that school, when we built that, the construction was $11,965. That was the cost of it. If we were going to build that structure now, we would need at least another $6 million because the costs have gone up. But we have some projections that what it may cost. It's possible that you could cut some things out. And so if you could build that facility for $5 million, between 5 and 6, over the 20-year period, that just 4 million would generate $8 million. So you would have this other money that you could, under $2 million. I'm not saying for sure that would be used, because I'm just one individual talking to you right here at this time. But you're probably talking $2 million or maybe $250 could be used on on technology.
What would you say specifically if you could speak to individuals, if there was a forum where you could address everyone in the county that may have some concerns and you had a limited amount of time to talk with them, what do you think you would just say to them to encourage them to reconsider their feelings or their opinion on supporting this referendum?
Referendum that we will be using the money to build the athletic complex. I read this report, and it said that sport teaches life lessons that you cannot get in any other classroom setting. Now, so the question was like saying, do high school sports enhance future earnings? Now, according to the research I read, that was published in the Journal of Human Resources, it went on to say that athletes work in businesses, military, or manual labor occupation, that they fare better wage-wise than non-athletes in those same occupations. Now, what does that mean? It goes on to say that however, that former athletes who teach in high school and work as coaches lag behind the non-athletes. The study found that on average, the former athletes were making more money than the non-athletes 6 years after college. Now, this study also used data from the Cooperative Institutional Research Survey of college freshmen. And they had a follow-up question there that asked about individual and post-college earning, occupational choices, degree programs that was attained, and athletic participation after high school, even going into college. And the study showed that there was a slightly higher percentage of athletes than non-athletes that was in higher income brackets. Now, we know that's not always the case in every situation. The survey further showed that the former college athletes, that is, people that played high school and in high school, were more likely than the non-athletes to select high school teaching. People that had been involved in it. They saw the need. They saw the care, concern about those people that were teaching them. They saw the character building. They saw the leadership skills they could develop from being involved in athletics. But it did show that there was a higher percentage of athletes than non-athletes that had earned master's or doctorate degrees 6 years after they was expected to complete college. So athletics can play a real positive influence in young men's and young ladies' lives.
Who conducted that study? Who was that study?
One of the studies was done by the Journal of Human Research that I pulled out of the magazine. The other study was done by the Corporate Institutional Research Survey that I took. I think I got that information from. I did it in my truck.
I can check it out.
These are just things with individuals that are playing sports at colleges right now. I think he might be the guy that I gave, but the other 23 individuals are kids that's on athletic scholarship at different colleges in the state. I think it's a pretty good return there. You know, you look at other areas and see how much return they're getting for their bucks. Otherwise, we're not getting any return from the 120-bed facility there that we have, that we paid $4 million a year. But we'll get a return on the individuals. Some of these individuals may even come back here and teach or be involved with students or work here in our county. And this is just about half of those students. I just put up what the amount of money that they would cost for these kids to go to the university and gave a total here. This is just about half of these students on this list. Now, if I put the other half in there, I'm gonna double this figure. I was just doing that, just looking over that. And those things are important. We're all in this together, you know, and so we just need to give our kids every opportunity that we can for them to be successful.